Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rise with Rays. We're back with Rays about developing your inner intuition about your journey for your path versus just looking at this twin flame journey as the person, because it's not so much about the person as it is the process. And a piece of this that we're going to talk about tonight is the idea of having went through what you've went through, and now that you've decided you want to abandon the whole journey, you don't even want to believe in it anymore. You don't want to believe that twin flames exist anymore. You don't want to believe that that was toxic, it was a bad thing, it got you through it. And I'm not going to say any of that may not be true for you, but there is a bigger picture, there is a bigger hierarchy. And what I want to talk to about tonight is about, do you really want to throw the baby out with the bathwater? Because technically, the key is this journey got you to where you are to be in that much empowerment within yourself. And so based on that, is it possible for you to stay open and look at the journey as a process, not a person? So Rays, let's hear your take on that.
Hello, welcome everybody. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share to us. It's so good to be here. So following on what you were saying, Dr. Harmony, I'm going to relate it back to my twin flame journey and the experience that I've been through. And there was a huge key point in my relationship with my twin flame where I abandoned hope, where I gave up, where I struggled to see where there was going to be a future with how I could move forward. It had been a very, very traumatic year for me. I'd gone through cancer scares, quite serious ones, and I'd gone through the loss of my grandchildren. There was so many factors that were playing a part of what was going on externally within my relationship. And the emotional bearing was so hard to handle. And my twin flame, he created all these distractions to not focus on the support he could give me. And I relentlessly used to exhaust myself trying to communicate, couldn't get through to him, couldn't work it out. And now, to me, I knew that my twin flame was with me in my soul. I knew that deep connection. But actually, I got to a point where I felt this isn't going to work in this lifetime. I need to let go of this because I am exhausting myself and I need that support. I need that help, and it's not happening. So I completely was losing my whole faith in the process at the time, my twin flame journey, the fact that we were supposed to be together, because I wasn't being heard, I wasn't being seen, we couldn't communicate, and it was absolutely exhausting. And I remember there's a really key time for me where I was actually sat in the hospital and I was going through all my biopsies and checks, and I was on my own, and I wanted to be on my own because I felt so angry and I felt so hurt that he couldn't be there for me, that he wasn't there. And I felt that actually our union was breaking down. I couldn't do this anymore. I needed the support and it couldn't happen. This was when I actually needed to go into that state of surrender. Now, we can try and control things externally, and we can become so fixated, and we can put all our energy into thinking that this should be how it should be. And when it doesn't go that way, we can then lose that hope. We get exhausted, we burn out. And this is the point where I got to. I just lost hope and I had major, major burnout. And then I built extreme walls around me, which couldn't be penetrated by my twin flame. So we were creating one thing upon the other, and I was ready to abandon it and let go. And I actually said this to my twin flame: I am done here. I need your support. You're creating all these distractions where you are externally focusing on all these things that aren't important rather than being there for me and actually connecting with me. We couldn't come together. Now, this is when he actually woke up and got some help in. He got some spiritual help in. We actually got a spiritual mentor in place that works with relationships to help us communicate. But a huge part of that was having to let down those walls for me and going into a state of surrender. I became quite fixated on the fact that I was done. My twin flame journey was done here. I'd lost hope. I'd lost faith. It had gone, and I was going to walk away. And it was the most painful experience ever. Now, when we got to this point, we had to get that external help in. We needed that guidance. We needed other perspective. And we needed somebody to kind of bash down that ego that was building up those walls, that was creating that control within me, trying to control everything around me. So I needed to go, as I said, into that state of surrender where I really let go and I was really open to allowing a different way of coming in. I was exhausted and I was at burnout. And quite often we get to that point where we start losing that hope and we start losing that faith in the next step of our journey, is because we've been trying something for so long. We've been bashing our heads trying to create something in our relationship that isn't working. And we've been trying to control the outcome because we're so fixated on what we feel is the right way. Now, I had to really let go and, as I said, go into a state of surrender and be open to listening and receiving a different direction, but also really understanding that the love is there and the connection is there, and actually being really honest and saying, do I want this to happen? Do I want this to move forward? And the answer was yes, of course. In your twin flame relationship, of course, it burns so deep and you want it more than anything else, but there's only so much sometimes that you can do. So having to let go of this and going into that place was really, really huge. When I was open to doing this, when I was actually open to receiving a different perspective, which I've got to say, when I am in session with somebody, when I am getting my mentoring, I like to be challenged. I like to feel uncomfortable. I like people to break me down and to help me understand my vulnerability, which is what happened. Then and only then could I be open to moving forward. And sometimes we can put a wall up around us and we're not open to receiving this information because we're so fixated on what we think we know. So it's about letting go of all of this and being totally open to a whole new way.
Sorry, I was just unmuting my mic there.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, what you're saying is so true and so on point. And what I see with a lot of people is that they went through this. It's been a very, very painful process. And because of the pain, they have learned to let go and they have found themselves. Okay. And they have technically moved on, which is what is important as well. Right. But at the same token, what I see in that sometimes then is people want to disconnect and not believe in the twin flame journey and not realizing, okay, that got me here. So that's the point. Even just the journey, not even the person, because that's what I always say is this is a process. It's not the person. It's inside of you in your journey, what's taking place. It can link to the person because that's going to reflect you. And it is definitely that we have that twin flame connection. But on the flip side of this, I think there's so much misconception out there and people are so confused on it becomes like a community of people that is so diverse that, you know, some people think it's toxic. Some still believe in hope. Some, you know, are still attached to this one person. Some don't realize that, you know, that that person may be preparing you for the next one and can't believe that you could have something even better than the last. And that it's all about being a higher reflection of yourself, that now you attract someone that matches you even at a higher level. So someone could have been a catalyst. But when you let go of the pain or let go of the person that you think or that you're attached to, you can't screw up what's meant for you in this journey. So once you let go, the pain that's involved in that is literally the pain of letting go of a part of you, like the parts of yourself that you have not, that no longer serve you technically, but the pieces that you've hung on to. So hanging on to a person is really hanging on to a side if they're not, like, don't represent your highest self or your best self or your future self, or, you know, the parts of you that are becoming whole and complete, and they're not moving with you and you're continuing to grow, then if they're meant for you, they're going to come and match you in that space, you know, and trusting that process. But what I guess the point I'm saying in all of this, a lot of times I see where people literally ditch the whole idea. Now, I don't know about you on this journey and all you out there on this journey. And if I want to hear from anyone that's, either way, this is not right or wrong. We're all on our own journey. It's different for everyone. It's not as cookie cutter as what we think. But what I can tell you is I've had a revolving door, and this journey is more real to me than it's ever been. Like this journey, like you can't make up these quantum entanglements, these signs, these synchronicities. Now, I will tell you, there are some of them I've created for my higher self through, my own projection, my own energy, my own manifestation. I've created these experiences. But that's the thing, is at the end of the day, if you're going down a path that is not divine, the divine will shut the doors. And when you become that in tune with yourself, you're going to know the difference between the divine shutting a door and then realizing that you are blocking yourself from stepping into a door that could be more in alignment with a version of you that's higher. So I know from a fact, from my experience, that if I totally ditched this whole journey, I would be cutting a side of myself off, because this journey made me who I am. And that's why I passionately show up here to share with people, because this is real. There's nothing fake. There's nothing like about this journey that is not real.
Absolutely. And following on from that, we can go into that place of feeling separation. And it is about bringing it back to us and bringing it back into the whole us. Now, I had to really go into a state of working on myself and recognizing the growth that you get through this experience. This is showing us so many different aspects that you probably haven't seen, you probably haven't connected with yet, that actually are really shining a light back on you to bring you back to you. I could have only grown to that next level. And let me tell you this, when we did actually acknowledge this, when we acknowledged there needed to be a level of growth around this that could only come from working on ourselves, that the shift and the breakthrough within our relationship like elevated us to that next level. It took us to that next level of a connection, of harmonically aligning back to union. It was so powerful. And from that was actually born so many different things, from our record label that we run to all of these things that needed so much empowerment behind it. But that power had to come through from going right into that place of surrender, recognizing the work that needed to take place within us. And it was hard. It was really, really hard, because a lot of us, as I said, we're looking at those external factors that we're going, this is what the problem is. This is why I'm feeling this way. And it's all because of that reason. My twin flame's not doing this. They're in that separation. They don't want to be. And it's all about that, when actually it's recognizing how to bring that back to your whole self, recognizing how to do that inner work yourself and how to reconnect with yourself. Now, a huge part of this is showing you the relationship that can be born from that deep connection that you can gain from this with yourself. And it's huge because it shows you so many different dimensions of yourself that you probably haven't seen before. That when you are with your twin flame, that deep inner connection is there. It's solid, whether it's in this lifetime, next lifetime. That has always run through me. That has never been broken. But you can lose that hope within this lifetime, where you say, this is not working. I need to move away from this. But it's recognizing the areas of why, and it's recognizing and being really honest with yourself as well. Because a huge part of me within this process was going, I don't want to really look at myself. I don't want to look at what is going on within me, because actually, if I prioritize, and this is where we can go into this great way of our distraction, we can distract ourselves from actually seeing what is there. Our ego has a really good way of doing this, and it takes you into all these different places because it stops you from that growth. So actually breaking that down and recognizing, and this was huge for me, because I don't know about a lot of you, but I can really put some walls up when I go into this place, and I can really become very defensive. But it's recognizing how you then create that separation, and how those feelings come from within you, and how when we open up to this and we open up to the guidance, we open up to this divine love that can come through, then really we're going to be set ourselves in a whole new direction. Just move.
Yeah. So, that's so true about the direction, because I think a piece of it is just like anything else, it's the experience we get out of it is also how we can choose to view it. A piece of this, like half full, half empty, when there's a whole perspective of this. So, if you're just joining us, let us know what your perspective is of your journey. Are you seeing the experience with the person, even if they're not in your life, as an opportunity that you became who you are, and you still go into the unconditional love and you stay open, and regardless, know that you can have that love and you're going to have that love. And it doesn't have to be about the person, it's the process, and you are the person. Are you someone that is still hanging on to a person? Or are you maybe someone that has put up a wall, and now you're afraid to trust the process? And maybe you're even someone that you don't even believe in this journey. So let us know, leave some comments. We would love some feedback on this to see who you are and where you are with this journey. So give us some feedback. We'd love that, either here as we're live or even in the future. And one of the things that I just want to bring up about that is because we tend to have been taught in this journey that you have to work so hard to become the one that, that to have your twin flame, right? And then when you work that hard and you still don't get that person, what next, right? We're going to talk about that next week, just And just, I want to throw this out there really quick so I don't forget. And 2 weeks from now, we'll be here next week, but 2 weeks from now, Raise is going to be gone. And in 3 weeks from now, I'm moving to Sedona, if you've not heard, on the 22nd of September. So I will have that. We'll have that 2 weeks. So we're going to be here next week, and then we'll be back on October 1st. So I just want to plant that seed. But before we kind of continue, I also want to mention about the work again. So that's one of the reasons why Raise and I had done the Perfect Inner Work Challenge, because the goal was to show you that you can love and accept who you are and that you're perfect as you are. You don't have to do all this work to have what you desire. One of the things I want to add to this about my own journey and my own experiences of this is I never lost hope in this journey. And I've had the revolving door of 1 and 2 people at a time just flowing in and out that all mirrored me, and that each one became more of a twin flame, textbook twin flame than the next. And I recognized it was my own energy creating the experiences, and that was reflecting me. And if that's somebody else experiencing that, let me know. Now, that said, doesn't mean that I'm saying that you have more than one twin flame. However, with that being said, everyone's your mirror, right? So there's this like catch 22 here, because it's all real, it all exists, and we're moving beyond what we've known to begin with. But what I will tell you is, this is what I've known. I'm going to have a twin flame, and I'm going to have all of that because I've been having it all along anyway. And I've been teaching for years that you find that dance inside of yourself, then you're going to have the dance. And to learn to dance with somebody else, you'll have the relationship. You can dance a twin flame dance with your one that will match you at your highest version. That's what I've been doing. I've been elevating into my highest version and attracting everyone that matches me along the way, experiencing even more of the twin flame concept within myself and with the person. And now I'm in that place of having brought myself into wholeness, oneness, healed, and being healed, and have that person mirroring me from a whole healed state. So where are you guys? Love to hear.
So just following on from that, Dr. Harmony, our previous episode we actually did was Distinguish Your Flame. And what you were saying about people showing you different aspects of yourself and showing you your whole self and using that mirror effect. So if you haven't watched that episode, strongly recommend get back and watch that episode. It's absolutely incredible. And it will show you so much about what it is that you're looking at, and distinguishing the difference between that twin flame connection and also what's showing you within the different twin flame areas that can show you your mirror self and how you can work on it. Strongly, as Dr. Harmon said, the 5-day challenge, working so hard and just aligning to you, aligning back to you, and doing that gentle work where you're connecting with the community. We have this amazing community on Facebook. Please get plugged in. The link is in the comments below. We are showing up every week. Myself and Dr. Harmony, and also my twin flame is there. And we have got some amazing people coming on. We're interviewing about their journey, their story. And it's full of so much empowerment to help you stay aligned to you and help you feel not so lost. So you're connected to people that understand you, that get this process. So as I said, if you're losing hope on this journey, getting plugged into something like this, that's a community that can offer you that support, that can offer you like-minded souls, that can connect you back to you, that can make you not feel so alone, because a part of this journey can make you feel alone. You can feel very, very separate, and you can feel like you're doing this all on your own and that you're struggling. And I know from definitely the divine masculine, talking from my twin flames perspective, he struggles with this. He struggles with finding that guidance, connecting with that knowledge, connecting with others. And I know for a lot of divine masculine, that can be more of a struggle. But as in our group community, we have a lot of divine masculine energy in there. And he is showing up, talking to you about how real his journey has been and what tools he's done in order to bring him back to him, and how he can connect himself back to him, because he's been in this journey with me and we have both been growing through this together. And it was only yesterday, actually, somebody said, God, you two are just so connected. And we are so in a state of trusting and union. But I said, it wasn't always like this. And he said the same. We've had to go through these periods of losing hope, of separation, of the runner chaser dynamics, all these different areas that we've had to grow through in order to step fully into this empowered relationship that we are now. And don't get me wrong, we are still working. We are always working, but the work isn't so big anymore. Yeah. And this is what I'm offering you with hope, that the hope is there. Actually, you can get through this, that this is just part of the process that you are going to have a breakthrough with. There is always going to be a breakthrough when you recognize that this is actually part of the journey. It's not the end of the journey. This is all part of your growth, all part of the lessons that you're here to learn. And actually, there is a beautiful place waiting for you at the end of it all.
Yeah, and that's a good point, that when you get through that process with yourself, really the journey's just beginning. Because technically, to come into that harmonization, you have to know those skills, those tools, and those resources within you to be able to do it with them, and them to then be able to do it with you. So you've had to build that foundation that exists between the two of you that gives you those skills to do that. And most people in any relationship don't know how to navigate what a real relationship should be like. And that's what we're redefining relationships and all of this. That said, back to this topic, and the topic is, have you given up on this journey? And does it feel like it's been a false journey, or have you abandoned the journey, or do you not even believe in any of this anymore? I just would ask you to think about and to let us know. And if you have questions, please let us know. If you have comments, please let us know. We're going to stay here just for a couple more minutes when we finish up here to see if they're, answer any questions for anyone. But
I have a question. I have a question. Can you give me a few tools and tips just to help you navigate this process?
Yes. So I feel guided to tune into that. Okay. And to let, guidance share with me what that would be in a collective scale. So I'm going to do like I always do when I tune in. I'm going to pause and go into my heart and feel, and let guidance show me what to share. So what is coming through to me is to pause and reflect. And that a piece of this journey is about giving grace, giving gratitude, like along the way, and to remembering it is a journey, not a destination. And so it's about reframing your processes, reframing the way you've navigated, handled things, and literally letting go of control on some level. So when you can take a moment, instead of thinking, I'm done, or I'm going to put up a wall, or I don't believe in that anymore. And here's the thing I will tell you about the belief systems. Belief systems are breaking down, all the ones we've had. So for you in that journey, that could be your belief system that is truly your path is different now. But I would also say to you, well, what do you want on your path? Because we are given now in this new earth, our own creation of what we want to create. Do you want to create and have a twin flame experience that gives you the same divine love that we're talking about through the whole journey, the textbook twin flame? Do you want that? And get really clear on it, because if you want it, you're the one creating that. But you do have to let go of who it is and to realize that, and this is what I've done my whole journey, is like, I don't know if this is the one, but it's the one I need right now. That's my motto I used. I don't know if this may not, no, I say it this way. This may not be my one, but it's the one I need for now. Okay. No destination. Literally, like, know that this is what I need. And I've always known when to lean in and when to lean out. And if it's making me grow and evolve and expand, no matter how hard it is to face myself, I lean in. And the moment me growing, evolving, and expanding more than leaning in comes up, I lean out. Meaning I step out of the loop. Or sometimes I don't even have to. It just goes apart itself. And at that point, I know what I want. I know how I want to experience it. And I know very clearly the type of relationship that I want with someone. And that will either evolve into what I want with that person, or someone will fill that role. And that's what's happened every time. Does that help? Does that answer?
Absolutely. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. And I would definitely say this learning how to communicate is huge at this point. Communicating not only with others, like-minded souls, but actually asking for that help, seeking that help. If you're feeling very isolated, very alone with this journey, if you've given up hope, start speaking out, start connecting. If you're here and this is you, know this, there is hope in you, because you're here, you're connecting with us, and this is part of your journey, and it's a beautiful journey to be on. But the growth comes from recognizing this, and you're recognizing that every single aspect of what you're going through is showing you an avenue of what's taking you. And as you said, Dr. Harmony, we are in a totally different place right now. The ascension process that we are in right now is so fast moving, it's so high energy, that when we tap into this and we really acknowledge this, then the struggle actually isn't for that long, because we can fool ourselves into this perception that the struggle is going to be there forever. This is our life. This is how it is. And we're in this separation. But recognize that actually when we tap into this place, the growth, the journey that we go on is huge. It blows it right open. And the shift that happens is massive. Oh, I love that, David. I have hope. Just how beautiful. And Jeremiah's just popped up. I'll let you read that, Harmony.
Okay, so walking in freedom in your true spiritual self is living the victory of what I call doing the love walk. I've always been in a place of unconditional love for myself, and that love gives true victory to the woman I love. Aw. Every single day. Abraham had Sarah, and Sarah had Abraham, and they were complete in themselves. And that is so key. You can't have a whole, complete, loving twin flame relationship if you both are not whole and complete within yourself. And know that if you come into your completion of who you are, you will attract your mirror of your highest reflection. That is your twin flame in that reflection. That is the one that's going to mirror who you are. And that is the person for you that represents the highest version of you. And that's been my walk. So thank you so much. So make sure, if you're just joining, we had some really powerful information at the beginning. Make sure to check out the links above and below for our Perfect Inner Work Challenge. It's a 5-day free challenge. Make sure to get plugged into the Facebook group that Raised and her twin flame are in there, giving guidance on a daily, weekly basis, and lots of cool stuff happening. Raise has got a weekly reading and doing interviews in there, doing lives in there. Her twin flame is in there answering questions for people. So you're going to want to get plugged in there too, for sure. And we'll be back next week, but then we're going to miss 2 weeks and be back on October 1st, just for those of you who've been following us, because Raise is going to be on her anniversary out for a weekend with her love. And I'm moving to Sedona in 3 weeks from now. So we'll be back on October 1st. And speaking of which, if you guys are just hearing and knowing I'm moving to Sedona, I will be hosting the retreat that 3rd through 7th of October. So that link, I don't think is in this description, but make sure to check out some of the other videos where we've talked about that, or reach out to me at drharmony@twinflameexpert.com and I can give you some information. And if you're, just coming into this later, be sure to, give us some, insight as to where you are in your journey, because we would love to support you on that, and also hear where you're at on your stage of the journey, because people are all over the board. And the goal in that is to know that everything has perspectives and bandwidths, especially in today's timeline. And it's like, which one of those do you want to see? Which side of the energy do you want to be on? And just choose who you want to be with, and not a person. Choose the type of relationship you want, the type of person you want to be with, and the kind of partner you have. And don't leave any of this twin flame stuff out of it, and you're going to have it. So, all right. Any final messages, Raise?
Just thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. It's an absolute honor to be here showing up for you. And I look forward to getting connected with you in our community. Absolutely.
All right. Loads of love, everyone. Like, comment, share the shine, and we'll see you next week. Okay. Bye for now.